Welcome to the Raven Knoll Show. I'm your host, Raven C. Knoll. I'm a wife, mother, counselor, mindset coach, and speaker, helping you win from within. So today we're going to be tackling a topic or a common subject that we see floating around the internet a lot, okay? If you go on Google right now, you'll probably be able to pull this up, a couple blogs and all kind of stuff about it. And I'm sure you've seen it floating around the internet as well. Very often, something so many people desire, and a question that I not only get asked a lot, but I've seen others get asked as well. And that's, how do you balance it all? Right? People see your life. They see all the things that you're doing. They probably see me show up online. They know I got a toddler and I'm pregnant right now and I got a husband and I got all kind of stuff going on. And they're just like, how do you do it all? Like, how do you balance it all? And I'm sure you've seen other people who wear many hats and they have their hands in many things. And you're like, okay, you got a lot going on. How in the heck are you doing all of this, right? And so when people ask that, they are essentially saying, how in the world do you juggle all these responsibilities without caving under the pressures of all that's on your plate? Like, what is the formula? Like, seriously, can you give me the 1, 2, 3? Can you give me like, what am I missing here? So, you know, people say that because they feel like I'm barely making it under everything that I have on my plate, or, you know, I'm barely getting through with everything that I'm juggling. How are you doing it? So today I want to talk to you about why a work-life balance is a myth and a better way to approach balance. Okay. So if that is your thing and you're like, give me all the tea, spill it out for me, Raven. All right. So one of the main reasons a work-life balance is a hot topic is because there are so many people struggling with balancing work right now. They're struggling with balancing work with family life, or they're struggling balancing work with their personal life, or they're struggling balancing work with any extra responsibilities that they may have, whether that's church or sports for their kids, or volunteering, or school, or mentoring, or clients. You know, there's just so many different things and so many different hats and so many different responsibilities. It can be hard to give yourself to so many things and not feel like you're caving under the pressures of everything that you're carrying, right? I know sometimes you can wake up and you can look at your schedule and be like, oh my God. You're like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this. You know, this person's calling my name, this person wants me, this person needs me. Everything is pulling you which way and every other way, right? And so it can be very hard to give yourself to that many things and to pour out in so many aspects. One thing I know about female leaders and those that are in leadership in any capacity, whether that's your job, your business, church, whatever, your home, you are required to always pour into others, right? There's always this level of pouring, whether you are giving of your time, whether you are giving of your skill set, whether you're giving of your knowledge, whether you're giving of your wisdom, whether you're giving of, you know, whatever it is that's internally, you're always pouring in some capacity. People are asking you questions. They're asking you for advice. They're asking you, you know, for guidance. They're asking you for your skill set. They're asking you for all kind of things. And so you're always pouring, you're always giving, and it's very hard to be able to do that. And so because of this, sometimes we question, am I dropping the ball somewhere? Right? You'll start to question, am I being a good mom? Am I being a good wife? Am I being a good friend? Am I prioritizing what needs to be prioritized? You'll start questioning these things in your mind because you're being pulled in so many different directions. You're realizing something's not working here, right? Like someone's getting the short end of the stick. Something is getting the short end of the stick. And it causes us to question if we're actually being able to show up in all these different roles and actually wear all these different hats well, right? Anybody been there? Can you relate? You know, you start asking, you know, am I giving enough time to my vision or my business or the career that I really love? Am I doing enough to be able to build this thing to the level that I want it to be built to because I have so many other responsibilities or I have to show up in so many different capacities? And so, it's real. Listen, the list goes on. And so there's just so many different aspects. As women, we carry and we juggle so many things, okay? And so when you think about balance and you start to actually throw that word into the mix, what you're talking about is, how can I give to everything on my plate evenly or equally? How can I show up in the capacity that is necessary for me to be able to give of myself equally or evenly to all these different things that I have? And how can I make sure that everything is really a priority? Because at the end of the day, we truly do desire to make everything a priority, right? We want our households to be a priority. We want our kids to be a priority. We want our work to be a priority because we love these things, right? We enjoy these things. These are things that make us us. These are things that we decided to step into. And so you do want to make everything a priority. Deep down, you have that desire or that passion or that drive to do so. But the thing about it is, it's humanly impossible to be able to actually do this. It's humanly impossible. You cannot give everything and everyone equal access or equal attention. That's one of the hard truths we have to come to. So we desire to do it. We want to make everything a priority. We really want to be able to show up in all these different things, but it's humanly impossible to do so, okay? Simply stated, when we think about a work-life balance is a myth. It's a myth. It's a myth. It's not something that we can actually do. And so instead of thinking of a work-life balance, one of the things that I encourage my clients to do, and something that we actually implement inside of my Mindset to Momentum program, is to create a work-life system that specifically is tailored to your life, that in turn forms the proper work-life rhythm you need to feel less overwhelmed, less stressed, and more in control of your life, okay? So I'm going to say that again. Let's throw out work-life balance. Let's put that somewhere else, package that out. Let's kick it to the curb. And let's think about, how can we create a work-life system that is specific to your life, okay? Tailored to your life, that in turn forms the proper work-life rhythm you need, okay, to be able to handle all the things that are on your plate and handle all the stressors that come with being a woman in leadership, high achieving, goal-oriented, whatever, right? And so, because again, we have so many responsibilities, it can be very easy to feel like life is controlling you. Right? You can feel like life is throwing you so many curveballs. You can I even catch all this stuff that's coming my way? Like, life is throwing me the 1-2 punch. I can't duck fast enough for everything that's happening and everything that's being thrown at me. And sometimes it's not even bad things. Sometimes it's just responsibility, right? We pray for expansion and we pray for increase and we pray that God would, open doors for us and all these different things. But my God, when it actually happens, the level of responsibility that comes with it, sometimes it's like, man, I'm getting hit left and right. What is going on? And so sometimes it can feel like life is controlling you and you don't have a grip on life, okay? And then also, listen to me, each week of our lives can look very differently, especially when you have kids. Especially when you have kids. Your life can look very different week to week, okay? Things can change up on you very fast, very quickly. And so life can throw things at you every single day that is completely out of your control. Things that are beyond your ability to be able to even stop it or change it or any of those things. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so having a system in place that's flexible enough to reset your life rhythm as needed is golden. Okay, so having the proper system in life to be able to reset, that is flexible enough to reset your life rhythm as needed, is golden. Okay, so I'm telling you, a work-life system and the proper work-life rhythm, again, tailored specifically to your life, is going to help you become and be a better manager of your household, your work life. It's going to help you become more intentional about self-care. It's going to give you time back. It's going to give you more clarity. You're going to have a better ability to focus. There's going to be less tabs opened in your mind. Y'all know how that goes, right? You're sitting, you may be just standing idle somewhere doing the dishes or like at your desk or something like that. And then all of a sudden, blah, 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 all these different things that you need to do, all these different things that you need to accomplish, all these different things that you need to get done, all these emails you need to respond to, all these different tasks that still need to be checked off just begins to come up in your mind. And so when you have the proper work-life balance, with the proper work-life rhythm, it's going to help you become a better manager of all of this so you can close those tabs out and you are living a less frazzled life, right? Because when we have a lot of responsibilities and things just start to just go haywire, it's going to frazzle you, right? If you don't have the proper things in place, the proper system in place to be able to easily maneuver with those things that come through life, it's going to frazzle you. It's going to overwhelm you. It's just going to completely just overcome you. And so it's important that we put this structure in place. Okay. And so I also know that you want to accomplish things, right? Any of my followers, y'all know we're going to do that inner work. But that inner work is to move you forward in your goals, right? The inner work is to move you forward in your vision. That inner work is to help you to do whatever it is that you're trying to do in business and in your career and your profession, all that type of stuff. And so I know that you want to accomplish your goals, right? And so a work-life system, again, with the proper work-life rhythm, helps you operate at a high level in business, in your career, in your profession, without sacrificing your mental peace. Y'all know how important it is to have your mindset in check when you are leading anything, when you are building anything, when you are responsible for anything. You have to make sure that out of anything, that mental and emotional health, that mental peace portion of your life is intact. Because when you are carrying a lot and you're responsible for a lot, you can't crack under pressure. Like you have to make sure that you are strengthened with the right structures in place, right? It's important. Listen, that mental peace is important, okay? It's priceless. And so when you do have this structure in place and you do have this type of system in place, it's going to give you the clarity of mind that you need on top of the emotional health and the emotional intelligence that you need to continue to operate at a high level. So a work-life balance, we're going to throw that to the side. We're going to kick that to the curb. We're going to package that up and send it. We're going to return the sender. Okay, whoever came up with it, whoever said it was possible, we just going to go ahead and throw that out. Because it's an unreal expectation if you actually think you can give yourself equally and evenly to everything and make everything a priority. Absolutely not possible, okay? So if you want to function consistently at a high level, if you want to continue to be step into responsibility, if you want to continue to build whatever you're building, if you want to continue to climb the corporate ladder, if you want to continue to move forward in your profession, if you want to continue to manage your household well, this is the type of mindset and the type of structure that you have to have in place in order to do so, okay? And again, you can't make everything a priority. It's humanly impossible for you to be able to do so, okay? And so this is why I say that a work-life balance is absolutely a myth, and this is a better way to think about balance, okay? This is a better, healthier, more achievable way to think about balance, all right? So I wanted to really help because, again, I get this question a lot. How do you balance it all? How do you do it all? All this good stuff, and then people are like, I want a better work-life balance. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but here's a better way to think about that. I like the idea of rhythm instead of balance. Yes, 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 yes. It's a better way to think about it because, again, when you think about balance, you're thinking about that something is even, right? If I'm going to balance something, I'm on a balance beam. I'm trying to make sure that my weight is equally balanced on every side. And that's just humanly impossible because some things require more of your attention than others. And so when you have the proper rhythm going in your life, you're actually able again to maneuver through changes and shifts and all those different things that can happen. Because listen, life is going to continue to throw us curveballs and we cannot become frazzled and overwhelmed when it does. That type of mentality, like it's okay, it's okay to have your moment, right? If you have a bad morning, like this morning for me, y'all, it was all over the place. Okay. It was all over the place. But if I allowed that to get the best of me, then I wasn't going to be able to complete the things that need to be completed, right? I still had things that I need to do. And so I can't allow myself to get frustrated or frazzled or overwhelmed for too long because then everything is at a standstill. So when you have the proper rhythm in place, you have more flexibility to be able to shift and change and kind of maneuver with the changes, with the curveballs, with all those different things that kind of life throws our way. And so it is important to remove that expectation of balance as well. Because when we have this expectation of balance, that we actually think that everything can be a priority at one time, we're going to constantly feel like we're falling short. We're going to constantly feel like we're not hitting the mark. We're going to constantly feel like, oh, I'm a failure today, or I didn't get that right, or I'm not, like I said before, people think, oh, I'm not a good mom, or I'm not a good wife, or I'm not a good friend, or I'm not a good all these different things. And you start to blame yourself for areas of falling short because you have an expectation that balance is actually something that's achievable when it's not. Like it's not, And so that's the thing too. It's the expectations that drive us crazy. Come on here. Listen, that's the thing. Expectations is the reason why there's so much disappointment and discouragement and so many thoughts and feelings of failure. You should not live your life with expectations. You should live your life based on desires. I desire this to happen, but if it doesn't, then it's not as bad of a fall or bad of a instance, right? If I have an expectation that it has to happen, then I'm never going to be fulfilled, or it's never going to be enough. And so, yes, it's the expectations that drive us crazy. It is. That is exactly the truth. It's the absolute truth. Thank you so much for joining me on today. I will talk to y'all soon. Have a good one. This has been the Raven Knoll Show. Thanks for listening. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to this podcast so you're the first to know when new episodes are released. And don't forget to leave a review. If you can't wait until the next show, follow along on Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter at RavenCKnoll for more tips and to keep the conversation going. Go ahead and DM me on Instagram or take a screenshot of this podcast and share it to your IG stories. I want to know about your takeaways from the show. Don't forget to tag me and use the hashtag RCNPodSquad. Lastly, visit my website at ravencknoll.com and join my email list to get exclusive bonuses only for my email subscribers. Thanks again for rocking and rolling with me. I'll talk to you soon.